Reputable historians tell us that first century believers were sometimes known as Nazareans, a name derived from the fact that Jesus was known to have come from Nazareth. In the book of Acts, chapter 24, we read of a very important member of the Nazarene sect, a pestilent fellow who was so outspoken that he was known as a ringleader. His name? The Apostle Paul. Epiphanius, a respected 4th century historian, gives us great insight into the beliefs of the Nazareans, the 1st century Christians who fled from Jerusalem before its destruction by the Roman armies in 70 A.D. According to Epiphanius and other historians, they fled because of the warnings that Jesus had given. The book of Luke, chapter 21, records his words, "And when you shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies, then know that the desolation thereof is nigh. Then let them which are in Judea flee to the mountains, and let them which are in the midst of it depart out, and let not them that are in the countries enter thereinto." Roman aggression against Jerusalem began in 66 A.D. For a brief period of time, Jerusalem was encompassed with armies, and the Nazareans did what Jesus said. They fled across the Jordan River to a place called Pella, and were not in Jerusalem when it fell. Now here's what's interesting about the Nazareans. According to Epiphanius, they used both the Old and the New Testaments, and they did not repudiate what he calls the legislation. We know from his writings that what he meant by the term legislation was the first 5 books of the Bible, the Torah, which includes the commandments of our Creator. He said that they confessed everything exactly as the law proclaimed it, and in the Jewish fashion, except for their belief in Christ. He said that they acknowledged both the resurrection of the dead and the divine creation of all things. Epiphanius said that the Nazareans disagreed with the Jews because they had come to faith in Christ, and that they were in disagreement with the Christians of his day, the 4th century Christians, because they, as he said, were fettered with the law and kept the Sabbath. Here we find a group of people that perfectly fit the description of saints as found in the book of Revelation. Here are they that keep the commandments of God and the faith of Jesus. Today, many Christian theologians would lead us to believe that the commandments of God have been nailed to the cross. The 1st century Christians who were saved from destruction by doing what Jesus said would not have believed that for a minute. Earnestly contending for the faith once delivered to the saints, I'm Richard Reeves with Just the Facts.